Run up to Kael to start the encounter and then make your way back to the front of the entrance. In this phase, we want to actually split up all 4 of the advisors. This is for preparation for phase 3. Your first advisor is Thaladred. He has 3 abilities. One is a knockback, second is a silence, third is a rend that stacks. If the rend stacks too high, just move away for about 15 seconds, let it fall off, and then re-engage. The second advisor is Sanguinar. The only thing he really does is a fear, nothing really to worry about. You're going to want to kill both Thaladred and Sanguinar at the front of the entrance. Your third advisor is Capernian. There's 3 things she does. One is a simple fireball. Second is a conflagrate, which is a 10-second stun. And third, if you get too close, is a arcane blast, which is both a knockback and a snare debuff. When you're running up the stairs back up to Kael's room, you're going to want to use a anti-magic shield to kind of run past her. This way you don't get conflagrated, and then kind of work your way back up to where you started. Position yourself in the corner of the doorway here. This would be at the right distance to pull her into the room. You want to keep her in the room because if she's anywhere else, it can make phase 3 very difficult trying to burn her down, which is the most important thing you need to do, which we'll talk about very shortly. Your last advisor is Telemachus. There's only really 2 things that he does. First is a bomb he throws at you. It is magic damage and you can avoid it if you keep moving. The second, and most importantly, is a debuff he puts on you called Remote Toy. What this does is it does periodically stun you for 3 to 4 seconds. This can be Icebound Fortitude off, but you want to save that for phase 3. The other thing to note here is the debuff does last for a minute, and you want to kind of not kill him until that debuff is about to run off. That way when you're running up to phase 2, you're not worried about getting stunned and getting held up from that. In phase 2 you fight about 6 weapons. The first one you're going to want to target is the Cosmic Infuser. I made a macro for it to make it easy to pick it out. This one does heal, so you wouldn't interrupt it. When you engage all the weapons in the room where you killed Capernian, you're just going to want to throw D&D down, spread your diseases, and then Harsh Strike away. Once the Cosmic Infuser is dead, work your way to the Bulwark. That's second priority, and that's the shield. Once that's dead, just kill all the rest. This is really nothing important to worry about other really than the Infuser and the Bulwark. If you just use Heart Strike non-stop and a Death Strike here and there, they all die pretty quickly. Phase 3 has you fight upgraded versions of every advisor at once. First one you're going to want to kill is Capernian. On this one, you're going to want to use every cooldown you have. Dancing Rune Weapon, Outbreak, Army of the Dead, whatever. She needs to die as quick as possible, otherwise her Conflagrate will destroy you. Right when she spawns, use a anti-magic shield. That way you don't get Conflagrated off the start, and then she should be dead before she goes ahead and casts it again. I am running a Blood Tank build in DPS gear, reforged to crit, with Unholy Presence, and most importantly the new Dark Glyph of Sakor, which has you heal 15% of your health per Death Strike. The reason I did this is because if you run in Blood Presence for the mitigated health, your heals are very minimal and it can cause an issue. The glyph does stack with your Blood Shield, so it comes in handy pretty nice, especially in phase 4 and 5 where there are some times where your health can possibly dip very low. If you do phase 3 right, as you're watching, you only have to fight 1 advisor at a time. You may get 2 depending on your crit chance, but otherwise if you do it right, it becomes very easy. As you're killing Thaladred, start making your way back to a large room. Reason being is this is where we're going to fight Kael. The minute you actually do end up killing Thaladred, work your way back to the entrance of this room and between the ramp. This will draw Kael down to near the bottom of the ramp. Phase 4 is the actual Kael encounter. I do recommend setting Kael as a focus and using the Mindfreeze macro that I like to use, which is in the notes. So if you're fighting the egg, you can still interrupt his fireballs. First thing he's going to do is, by the time you get down here, is he's going to be ready for his Pyroblast. Near the end of the cast of the first one, use your anti-magic shield. This will negate the first one and most of the second one. By then his static shield will be down and you can interrupt the third. The Phoenix you can handle two ways. If you just do nothing, it will eventually kill itself and put an egg on the ground. No matter what you decide to do, you do need to kill the egg immediately, otherwise it'll respawn. There are some times where I do like to actually just kill the Phoenix, depending on my distance and depending if I need the help from Death Strike. So feel free to kind of feel out what works best for you. Every now and then, Kael will cast a Disorient on you. The only way to get out of this is your PvP trinket, so make sure you do have that equipped. You also don't want to actually just use it every chance you get, because there are going to be some times where he disorients you right above a Flame Strike. That's going to be when you actually want to break out of it, otherwise just kind of eat the full duration. Now, one important thing for the Flame Strike is if you're on the outer edge of it, don't worry about the PvP trinket. When it blows up, it will not hit you. If you're near the center though, it will most likely one-shot you. So use your PvP trinket and get out of there. Phase 5 starts at 50% health. He'll port you back to in front of his room and throw you in the air. Throw your diseases on him and start making your way back to a large room. Do not touch the ground until your anti-gravity lapse is over. There's not a whole lot you got to worry about in this phase. He does do the gravity lapse here and there, which throw you up in the air. If you do get too close to him, which I unfortunately do in this video at one point, is he does put a debuff on you that lowers your maximum health. He doesn't Pyroblast anymore, so you don't have to worry about that. This is just basically, for all intents and purposes, a burn phase. Both the Phoenix and the Flame Strike are still intact. You still have to worry about them just as you would anything else. One important thing to remember as you're doing this is a very RNG based encounter. There are going to be some times where your PvP trinket's down, you have nothing available, and you get disoriented in the middle of a Flame Strike. Shit happens. It took me, hours upon hours the first time I was doing this to get it right. So don't come in here expecting to get it done in your first kill. If you do, great job, but it's not very common to do it that way. Thank you for sitting through this 10-minute video on how to kill Kael in Tempest Keep. If you have a more detailed question, shoot me a message. You can find me in-game on Tichondrius. My character's name is Xroll. Or you can actually message me at the YouTube or my guild's forums. Good luck, and hopefully you get your Ashes of Alarm out.